I guess we're live because the intro didn't work, and that's awesome. So, cue that intro. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Sith Dominion podcast. This is your host, Dr. Dana Martin, and with me tonight we have Cameron. How are you doing, sir?
What's up, brother? Just got done doing the most adult thing ever and mowing the grass. So happy to be here.
Yeah?
Happy
How you
to not be
feeling?
mowing the grass. I'm tired. It's been a long day, but I'm here vibing.
Heck yeah, man. Oh, it's just like right when you get it mowed, it's all crispy, and then 2 days later you get rain, and you're that's it. We're gonna have to mow in 3 days, period, or
Dude,
else
that
it's
rain we got
unmanageable.
last night was gnarly, bro. That was gnarly. It was a gnarly thunderstorm.
I sleep with a CPAP and a mask. The mask is a headphones, and so and I'm listening to like warp core sounds to sleep by. So it's like I didn't hear anything. Apparently it was loud. There's a
Yeah,
lot of lightning, and thunder, and
I woke up and I was like, oh shit, that's crazy, and then went back to sleep.
yeah, it's Tuesday after a holiday. I'm done. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
What's up, Spooky Jawa? You're at Disney and you're tuning in. Wow, that is some dedication, Spooky. Unbelievable. See you too, brother. Take it easy.
Hell yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, what a guy.
Disneyland. That's right. FO Woodworks. Yep. Are you still watching right now, FO? Ping us if you're watching. So yeah, tonight's show was gonna be about Underworld, and I say was, and it turns out that Zane hadn't seen it. You haven't seen it. I think Deb and I are the only ones that have seen it. Is Debbie even around? Has she even replied to anything this week?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I hope she's okay.
I really didn't even honestly know it was out.
Wow. Okay.
I remember seeing stuff about it. I guess it came out on May 4th, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm too tapped into Andor, man.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, they did that show bad by releasing when they did. Andor's was peak, and that's all anyone cared about. And
I mean, also to keep it real. I mean, I know this is a big Asajj Ventress fan club here. Not saying I don't like her, but it's I'm not super tapped into that character. Also, not that the last one was super disappointing, because the first Tales that they did was phenomenal.
Yeah,
especially the Dooku ones. The Ahsoka ones were alright. They were fine. Yeah. But really, the last one, Tales of the Sith, super disappointing. Yeah. Really wasn't a huge fan of them. They weren't terrible, but wasn't nothing compared to what came before. So I feel like I know it was out. So
you learned something new. I felt like when you watched those, right? But this, I don't know. It really either of them add to their story or fill in a gap. I know for the Ventress doesn't fill in any gaps. It takes place after Quinlan Voss, it does. The further adventures of Asajj Ventress and her new, not really a Jedi, not really a Sith, just another story of helping some stranger. Fuck, come on. That's all it is. And I was very disappointed. And maybe I had high hopes. Watching it after Andor maybe wasn't fair. Having to follow some of the best television ever written. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm not being fair. And at some point, give it a shake. I mean, it's still decent. It's good. It's it's good writing. It's just not something I wanted to see. Whenever you told me Asajj, I wanted to see Asajj. Even new form Asajj, but just give me what I already know, but just explain more or whatever. I didn't feel it. And Cad Bane, I don't know what your thoughts are on Cad. He's a cool character, but it felt more like a just another Clone Wars episode that you throw Cad Bane into, or not Clone Wars, Rebels episode that you throw Cad Bane into. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some of these characters we got enough. Like I would argue, like the Ahsoka Tales episodes had some low points. Like it was cool seeing her as like a baby, like that was like seeing her, uh, how she's discovered force sensitive and all that stuff. But I really felt like the Dooku episodes added layers to the character,
yeah,
and I don't think in any of the ones that we've gotten since then, even to a certain point, the Ahsoka ones, like they don't really add anything because I felt like those characters had enough screen time to have a story.
mm-hmm.
And there may be some expanded content, comics, books, or whatever that may help with, but I don't. Because who was the other Sith that they did with Barris?
Barris and shoot. See how memorable it was?
Yeah, well, the Barris ones are super disappointing. Like, you don't get to see, like, oh, she's like joining the Inquisitors. You don't get to see any interaction with Vader, like, at all. It's more just like a big teaser. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Um, did Tales of the Empire was that the one? Yeah, Tales of the
yeah, okay.
Empire was
They weren't
Barris.
Sith.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, oh. Well, what's her name? Uh,
Morgan.
yeah, more.
Morgan. Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
that gave us some backstory on her dealings. Was it with Dooku? Oh, God, that was
Thrawn.
last year, man. Thrawn. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go.
Um, which I guess because like the Ahsoka episode, the Ahsoka series was coming out, so I guess that kind of or just come out, so I guess that kind of makes
Yeah,
sense with what they're doing. Um, no, I mean I'll give it a shot. I mean they're only what like 12 minutes each, like it's like
yeah.
not even like a couple hours, so for the whole thing. But no, I just on me chat didn't even realize it was out. I was just so geeked up about Andor, I just hadn't even. And replaying Jedi Fallen Order, phenomenal game for any Star Wars
Dude, I
fan.
was that's the second one, right?
That's the
No,
first one.
the first
I
one. I
I
played the
think
first one all the way through. I didn't play the second one all the way through.
the first one, in my opinion, is a much better story than the second one. Second one's cool, but um, first one there's some there's some good stuff in there, man. Josiah and I were talking about it because I mean I don't know if you played Battlefront 2, but like Battlefront 2 is having like a resurgence.
Yeah,
And we
because they're doing a 3 finally, right?
No, people want them to do a 3,
Uh
and they've like stopped support for the game, but it's really good. We hopped on, played a few games probably a few days ago. I hadn't really played it since. I think a lot of like the big fan base coming back are like on PC, but it I would say they should make Battlefront 3 cuz I think overall I would say EA has done a decent job with Star Wars. I mean, better than Ubisoft. I mean, I know we're going into video games, but
that's okay.
um, I mean, it's hard to follow up Lucas Arts, but um, I would say we get some hashtag make Battlefront 3 going.
Yeah. I played Battlefront 2 a little bit. I would say a little bit, a couple months, and then just life got in the way and I uninstalled it to make room for something else. It was a big game.
It's a
Um
massive game, dude. Even the first one, man. That was the
yeah.
2014 one. I saw on my Xbox. It was like 46 gigs. I was like, man, 11 years ago, 46. We thought that was big when it came out.
Yeah.
Now you got like 97, $128. Insane, dude, for one game, bro.
You used to get your game on a cartridge.
You used to be able to
That
like, bro.
was it.
You used to be able to like plug it like or insert your disc or your cartridge and it just
Yeah.
starts up. There's no like delay. There's no download or nothing. It's
Nope, they
in
got you.
with
You don't even own your own crap anymore.
well,
Just renting.
I think one of the Ubisoft guys said that they said like gamers need to get accustomed to like not owning their games. It's like, bro, how can you pay now 69.99, 79.99 and not own that? So
Yep.
I'm owning the rights. I mean, shout out to Andrew, man, because he's buying all these like movies on DVD and stuff. Like that's kind of the way to do it.
Heck yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, no. That's right. FO, you're Ollie, right? What?
What's SWGOH?
Hold on. SWGOH is Galaxy of Heroes. It's a mobile.
Oh, that I was gonna say is I was like playing out like Star Wars what? So figured I've seen a lot of good stuff on that. Have you played it?
Galaxy of Heroes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've played it since day one. I've been in. This is my third guild. That's it. And like the first guild was I was on vacation, and I told them I was going on vacation. And I'd been with them since day one, and for like 5 years, and they were like, "Oh, well, sorry, man, you were in that," and I was like, "What?" Oh, because there's rewards like you can only get if you're in a guild,
Yeah.
and characters you can only get if you're. And so I joined another guild, and I was with them for like 3 years or 4 years or whatever. And I told them in advance. I mean, very communicative. And I came back from vacation and told them, "Hey, I'm working today. I'll catch up. Whatever." Next day, I nothing. So I sent the dude a message. I was like, "Brother, that's like poor form, man. Like I've been with you guys for years, and I have, what I've contributed, whatever." And yeah, man, that's you're not like that in this guild. And this is like home. Like I'm having a problem on my phone right now accessing the game. I can still access it on PC. And they're like, cool, yeah, do what you can when you can, whatever. So I mean, every day that I can, I'm logging into PC and taking care of it. But the Galaxy of Heroes game, super addicting, and it was kind of one of the first in that world of I'd say card building, right? Like you're building characters. Marvel had one or has one. Transformers had one. I played for a while, and then you fight, PVE, PvP. It's just super fun. And the guild, like I said, that I'm in now, with FO, man, it's super fun.
Hell yeah.
Do you do any mobile gaming?
Woods and I were really big in the Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I hit like level 40, which at the time when the game first started was like the highest level you can get. Now you can go up to 50, and I just like try to watch my screen time, so I don't really like mobile game as much anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but Pokemon Go was really the only one that I like mobile game I ever really got into. I played like the Lord of the Rings version of Clash of Clans like way back in high school,
Yeah.
but then I found out about data plans, and
Oh,
my pops really got mad at me because I ran up the
kibosh on that.
yeah, and so now I kind of like got into the TCG Pocket with Pokemon
Yeah.
the card one, but I'm just kind of a big if I'm gonna deal with Pokemon cards, I want the physical copy. So nah, not a huge mobile gamer.
I jumped on the Pokemon Go for a while, the Harry Potter one for a while that was like that. um and then the latest one I had to download it cuz I was addicted very very quickly. It was it was a trading card game, Star Wars Topps trading card game. It was fun, man. Like I was loving it, and trading and doing, building packs and all this. And before I knew it, I'd been playing for 2 weeks. I'd already logged like 20 hours. I was like, you know what? That's like you said, screen time. I gotta I gotta
Yeah.
step away, man. It was fun, man. They know what they're doing. Getting you open this pack, you got enough for one more, and then you get this bonus. Okay, one more pack. Oh my god.
Well, like Pogo did a big update probably about like a year and a half ago, and they did like a graphical update. Really kind of checks you out. It just doesn't look clean,
Mm.
and they also you had like remote raid passes, and they were like really affordable. You could like um get a pack of 3 for a reasonable price, which is the max you could hold, or then you could do online stuff. Like I had a Discord and that I was in, and like people you could like remote in with people from like Germany or some shit,
Huh.
and like you could just like keep like buying these and give you the opportunity, because like unless you're like in a group locally or something, there's really no opportunity for you to like get like a legendary or something.
Yeah.
And they kind of like put like a they should increase the prices for like remote raid passes and stuff. Like right when
Mm.
the me and Josiah, uh, our buddy Jeremy and buddy Bryson were really kind of playing, and we did like Community Day and Pokemon Go Fest Day and stuff, and
Oh
they just
wow.
like dropped like a crazy graphical update and up prices on stuff and capped how many remote raids you could do in a day, and it was like, why are you
What?
capping me on how much money I can give you? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're like discouraging people to like play, and they also haven't done anything like in the game. Like it's still the same game it was almost 9 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of like once I hit level 40, it's like it was like catch 250 Pokemon in one day. You have to like do
Yeah.
a certain task and then get the XP. And I'm like, I don't just have time to do it. Like if I'm gonna be outside, I'd rather like not be on my phone, like play some golf, um, or do something else. And now I feel like I have enough hobbies that already get like super anxious if I'm not putting enough time into, and it's like
Yeah.
Pokemon Go will be there. They'll do something that'll get me back in. So
Heck yeah. Yeah, mobile gaming's always been just an interesting thing because there's some things that work and there's some things that don't. Um, and for me, I think it is that screen time, right? Like you work in front of a computer all day. You have side gigs like where I'm writing or creating writing books or whatever. It's screen time. I'm playing Pokemon Go for a while, whatever, SW Go. It, you're always in front of a screen. Your downtime is to kick back in the recliner and watch the TV.
yeah,
More screen time. And you go to bed, and wife and I will read our devotion or whatever, and then 10 minutes of screen time. And then go. So you got to be able to step away, and I think one of the things that for me Star Wars wise and how for me this all ties in is what I do even with my screen time is Star Wars, right? Or the stuff I don't do is Star Wars. Whether I'm doing Lego, it's not screen time, but it's Star Wars still. um my lightsabers that I'll just twirl around in my office alone, Star Wars. It's creating the content for the show, Star Wars. Star Wars is just a part of who we are. Agree? And
yeah,
it's
bro. Check the back, dog.
I yeah, yeah, right? Hey Disney, remember who you're not necessarily probably your audience, but who's the main purchaser of things and stuff from you guys? It's us. Your 25 to 50 range, right? That maybe you're working hard and have some disposable income, and when they do, what do they want? They want Lego, they want lightsabers, they want to be a kid again, but for the right reasons, and emulate the characters that they saw as heroes. So give us some more fucking heroes. Sorry, that was we got one, didn't we? In
Yeah,
Andor. Holy shit. Andor, what a show.
Well,
I don't think we could say enough about it.
no, I mean, I was thinking too, like, I mean, I feel like a guy like Cyril really has attributes of someone who wants to be a hero. Maybe the universe doesn't, that's not his role, but like he wants to be, right? Like he
Sure.
has like good intentions and he has the right motives. He just doesn't realize that he's fighting on the wrong side. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's why I think like his story when it ends, it's like, man, like that poor soul, dude, he had no idea he was just the team he thought he was fighting. They were that he thought was fighting for the right reasons just is the exact opposite of what they're trying to do, and he just was a
Yep.
company man through and through and doesn't realize that the company does not
Till the curtain was pulled back. Yeah.
yeah, I mean the
The
company
secret
does not care
sauce.
about him. Well, no,
Nope.
well, it's like, I mean, we see that in season one when he talks to his manager about the two guys that Andor kills, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh, it's the manager's like, oh no, it's fine, just like shit happens, and he's like, but they were murdered, and the guy's like, nah, it's all right, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, I feel like they really added a lot of depth to every character, and even Cyril, which I know is kind of a meme, to kind of meme on him, but
Yeah.
I thought he was a
He was a good character, and I think everyone at some point in Cyril's journey, I thought they could relate to him in some point. As funny and as much crap as we doled out for the character eating cereal, we know his how stiff he is, whatever. He was. There were moments I was like I've been there, like where you bought into a vision. If you want to think of it from a business perspective, you bought into a vision and it was all a bunch of shit. And Enron is who you're working for.
yeah.
You know, I'm seriously.
Lockheed
Uh,
Martin.
yeah, yeah, precisely. But yeah, no, it's good. I want to take a quick pause. We'll jump back over to the vibe session. It was FO was on the show, is on the show, and I want to be able to. Whoopsie. I found your page, FO Woodworks, and I'm gonna play one of your videos because this is some cool stuff, man.
It's pretty fire.
Yeah. Can y'all see that?
Can you turn the volume down on it a little bit because it was kind of blasting low key.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know how. I'll
It
just
said
mute it. Oh,
no,
look
no,
at that.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Definitely getting copyrighted, but all good. Worth.
It's not my video. Look at that, dude. Mm. That's cool, man. Charcuterie board. That's cool. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. We're gonna see that symbol with Ryan Gosling in the same movie.
Just stop. I said, give us something we want. Maybe there are those that want that. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. You know, my birthday is in 2 days, FO. I sure could go for a charcuterie board with the Empire logo on it. I drink red wine and have cheese and meats nearly once a week. And no, I don't invite you over, and I'm sorry.
Exactly. That
Damn.
shit's crazy. That shit's crazy, bro.
Look at that. That's freaking beautiful. All right. Go check out FO Woodworks, man. It's freaking awesome. I'm guessing FO is first order. I don't know. It's cool. I don't know what this was. I don't know what this ended up being. I'd love to know what this ended up being. Not the Cholo dog, but the what? That's cute, adorable. Do it. Yeah. What happens? Ah, you're killing. I just want to see. Yeah, and it starts over. Okay. So that's fellow guild member and I gotta stop sharing. There we go.
The doggy was cute.
And fan of the show, FO. What's up? Yeah, I ran into that and I had to share it. So yeah, we'll put your channel in our description after the show to get folks to go check you out. That was awesome. Andor, I wanted to talk about last week we touched on K2SO and I was like, I want more of the K2SO relationship building. There was some disagreement. And it led me to this, and I want to watch this because that's not what I was doing. I don't know what's happening. Hold on one moment. I want to get in trouble with the censors again. Let's try this. What is happening? Okay, we're sharing. See, that's what I don't know what's happening. Why is it doing that? It starts playing something else. There. Okay, let's do this now. For real. Okay. Can you see me?
No, sir.
No. I think I'm not even gonna lie. I think my mouse just died. Are you for real? Dude. Hold on. This is a comedy of errors. Everything all at once. That's okay. I got backup. You know, I said I didn't even think I wanted to do a show tonight, but here we are. Consummate professional, Mr. Martin. Dr. Martin.
How'd you feel about them retconning the K2SO origin?
It was okay. Where wait, what? Where did he come from that was not from the Empire? And was not
I was reading up on it earlier today. It was a comic that I guess they released in 2017 before the Dark Times, and apparently hit K2 and Cassian meet on Wakako, not Gorman, and he runs into K2SO and wipes his memory. So I mean, kind of the same thing. They just it adds a little bit more depth, I think, to it.
I got you.
I didn't even know the comic came out, so I just don't. I didn't even really think about it. I know some people. I mean, like Debbie says, some people are going to be happy, some people aren't. So.
I'm one of those that I don't know. I like K2SO a lot. All right, let's hope you can hear this and it doesn't blast you out. K2SO mentality.
Turn it off.
I've been counting the orders we've disobeyed so far. Would you like to know how many?
No.
17. Are you with us? No. Congratulations. You are being rescued.
What is it?
The man you do not like is here. Jin, I'll be there for you. Cassian said I had to. I am taking them to imprison them in prison.
He is taking us to...
Quiet! And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again.
Dude, okay, like
I got a good chuckle out of that earlier. I won't lie to you.
I just he said he's done playing robots, but could you go one more round as K2, please? He's so good at it. Like that he made that character. It was well written anyways, what little he had to work with because he's like the other dude, Snoke. What's that guy's name?
Andy Serkis.
Yes, those two guys are always behind all of that CGI animatronic stuff. That can't be easy when you're known for that and you keep being brought in for that. I would assume it's kind of hard to make a name for yourself otherwise. And I would say that both of those two have and are wizards at both behind the screen, if you will, and being on screen. I don't know. What do you think of that stuff? I think it's increasingly important with CGI that they be versed in it, but I like them.
I think if you do the character well enough, like whether your face is shown or not, like I think if you play the part that's meant to be played and you do a good job, I think you'll be remembered for it. Whether
You agree
people
that's
can,
not for everybody? Like for
yeah,
actors, right?
yeah. Like I remember early on, I think it was season 2. Now these are reports. I don't know if they're factually true or not, but like when with the Pedro Pascal popularity, like he was wanting to not wear his helmet
Mm-hmm.
in the Mandalorian. I remember reports of that in season 2 or whatever, and I remember like, well, why are you playing this character?
Right.
It's the same thing like with the guy that played Master Chief in the Halo show.
Yeah.
Oh, I want my face out there, and it's like, no, you're
Master.
playing Master Chief. Like you're playing a Mandalorian that didn't take his helmet off. Now I think the way they handle it in season 2 at the end is still good. Like I think that makes sense, but like just wanting to have your helmet off, or wanting to have your face shown when the character doesn't call for that, like I mean, Andy Serkis does a phenomenal job as Gollum, and
Yeah.
half the time you don't even think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
But
absolutely.
Andy Serkis plays Gollum, so but no, it's not for everybody. It's for a certain type. I mean, it's the same with voice acting. Like,
Sure.
not everyone's a great voice actor. I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan, after seeing him in Invincible, is good both ways. But
Wait,
there's
who is he in?
he plays Conquest in Invincible.
Is
He's
this
one
the
of
new?
it's
Is
the
this in the
news.
new season?
It's in the newest season.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet.
It's short, but I think he does a good job. And I think he has a good voice for it. But some people, everybody's got their niche, man. Some people are just really maybe good at 3 things. Some people are really good at only one thing. So it's a shame that I don't think Andy Serkis was given a good opportunity to give us that next iconic villain in the sequel trilogy that I think we could have got with his
Yeah.
talents, I guess you could say. But when he's on screen, you can
Andy Serkis.
you can feel it. I think
Absolutely.
I read this thing on Andor that I guess it was Tony Gilroy kind of helping out Kathleen and the press, but he said like they kind of just let him do his own thing. I think that's good. I think they should maybe do more of that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Like, I mean, they gave Ryan Johnson whatever he wanted to do, and he, in some people's minds, killed it, and other people's minds sucked. But, and obviously, he probably had some guardrails, but they kind of just, from what I had read, it sounded like he was just able to kind of cook, and he cooked indeed.
Yeah, he did.
But it doesn't sound like he's super thrilled or wants to stay in do other Star Wars stuff unless he wants to.
Yeah, I feel like he is proud of the work that he did. And all right, what's the next project? Yeah, Born was fun. I did that for a while. What's the next project? This is fun. What's the next project? And I think he'd be wise to. I think he'd be wise to move on. I think it's just leave it. I don't want him on another project for me. I like what he did and put a bow on it, and
I'd like for him to be. It would be nice if they had like a. Now they may. I don't know what it is. But I would like if he could. I don't know.
what
Be
would
a special contributor or something like that. Or
is there something you have in mind that you would like to see him do? A story that you'd like to see him have the reins on?
Rogue Squadron.
Ooh. Mm.
I could see him doing a good. I could see him doing a good Rogue Squadron.
When you
Um,
look at that tactical piece of what Rogue Squadron entails, he does that very well. Mm. Mm.
I could
Make
even
that
see
happen,
him.
Captain.
I could even see him doing something with Resistance too. But I mean, I know like I'm not saying I want to see like I I don't know if he. I think he can do a lot of the. But I think he can do a lot of stuff outside of lightsaber swinging, which I think is a rarity to have people tapped into a Star Wars show that doesn't have red, green, blue, or whatever color lightsaber. But I think he could do Rogue Squadron really well.
Yeah.
I just think he's a good storyteller, and I think the writers' room would benefit from him telling that, because I think like someone like Filoni that struggles with pacing, I think in his shows,
Yeah.
mostly because he's coming from animated, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you kind of have a little bit more flexibility, I think, to flesh out your stuff when you don't have the limitations of live action. But I think someone like Filoni would benefit from Tony Gilroy maybe trying to help him pace stuff better.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just a good. I think he's just a good creative, and I think with the way he talks and the cast of his series talks, I think they get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like I mentioned earlier, who funds a lot of this stuff, you know, I think they understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I don't think a lot of other creatives do. Like Tony Gilroy's not out there like boasting about how he's God's greatest gift to mankind, and neither is
No.
Diego Luna. Or, you know what I mean? Like a lot
Yeah.
of like these new creatives do. You know, you should respect me because I'm X, or you should respect me because of Y. He's like, hey man, I'm just a dude that made a project with a bunch of people that were passionate about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of short, simple, sweet, to the point. That's what people used to do. Like, that's not special. On to the next.
That's a good segue, because here we have Tony Gilroy talking about something we talked about on the show last week, with the Bix relationship, and then Jin Urso. Like, where does this play in? Because they kiss at the end. Well, they don't. They only hug. Um, but I don't watch the video and then we'll talk about it. Can you hear it?
No, sir. Is it muted up top?
Yep.
No.
I knew that there were a lot of people that invested a lot of time into into that idea. Mm-hmm. A lot of fan fiction, a lot of people who really put emotional parts of themselves into that. So I know that it means a lot to people. Didn't do it to be disruptive or to undermine that, but I think there's a way of reading it that's just as righteous, that doesn't have to do with romantic love, but has to do with, something just as powerful.
There was so much back and forth.
Yeah.
He's got a beautiful head of hair, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. That dude. What are your thoughts on that? I liked it. I mean, I like his explanation and how he did that, and I think it added depth to that moment, quite frankly.
Yeah, because they're dying. I mean, I don't think them kissing would have made that better. So
No. And I kind of like what that Bill kind of puts in his character, the character's character, right?
mhm.
No, his heart was still elsewhere. That's why he didn't, perhaps. Um, and as Tony points out, it's something bigger and even greater than just a love for another person, right? It's like they embracing at the end was not really about each other. It was about not wanting to die alone, I think. You know, you're holding each other, and we did it. We did it. And that we collectively are going to die, but we know that's the sunset we'll never see, but they're going to get to see it. Or the sunrise. They're going to get to see it because of what we just did.
Mhm.
I think he's right. It is a bigger moment when you look at it like that from that perspective.
Oh, I agree.
Mm.
It's he's I think as a whole, I think he's made the best trilogy of Star Wars projects that we have seen in the Disney era.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's close.
Are you going to entertain the why I like The Rise of Skywalker on Reddit that our lore master sent us? I thought we might look through it, but it's really long, so I'm not going to yet.
When do you send it? Facebook?
Yeah, in Facebook Wayfinder, our chat. Zane and Cam do not see eye to eye on this movie, and it's been well documented. So I kind of go back and forth for specific moments of this movie. I don't want us to revisit. I'd love to talk about this because this is clearly a very long, well written, thought out post, and I will read it, Zane, and maybe we look at this next week. We might have a special guest like what we were supposed to have last week. We may have them next week. I was talking about the loyalty program that's going to start up. I said this week. It's going to start next week. Everything's starting next week. We're just goofing off this week. So, one of the comments that is in this Reddit post that I'd love to hear, Cam, because I think you actually will agree with this. The overall theme at the end of this movie, where they say it's just people. That's really why this guy likes the show, because it was just a bunch of people rising up and going against the First Order.
Oh,
So
I'm pulling up the post.
it's
I was reading a little bit of it on my
scroll down. It's the finally. Just that 2 sentences there.
Please don't make me sign in. Okay.
I felt it was weak sauce, man, that they said, "Oh, it's just people rising up again." I didn't like that. And actually, let's be real. Everyone would have died if it wasn't for Rey. So you had to have Rey there. So who cares if it's just people that show up? If Rey didn't intervene, it'd been over. Now, I'm not saying she's the chosen one, but she is a Skywalker.
No, she's not.
Just checking to see if you're paying attention. No, she's not. Look, Return of the Jedi. I'm sorry, that's peak right there. You got everything. Because really, the whole Jedi lightsaber swinging thing is a very minor part of the battle that's going on. Although, there is theory around the battle meditation that was potentially being used by Palpatine to make sure the battle was swaying his way. That once the shield was lowered and once the Emperor was gone, then it was nothing, right? I love it. I can't tell if Cam, he's a good poker player. Do you play poker, Cam?
No, I actually have a horrible poker face. I'm just really dialed in, trying to read this. So I'm trying to.
That's him saying STFU so I can finish this.
No, I'm listening to you. I'm really trying to give you my thoughts on this and make sure that.
Well, I'll talk a little bit about you. Apparently you got some award last week and I failed to mention that. I was going to talk about that last week. And I want to celebrate you and all the hard work you do that you have to do, and you don't get to come on the show because you're out of town, because you're tired, you're traveling.
What are you
So
talking about?
you got an award, right?
Oh, at work? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we don't gotta talk about that shit, bro.
Yeah. Come on.
No,
Come on.
no.
I got rewarded with more work and responsibilities this week. What about you? You got an actual award, brother. Come on, let's celebrate you.
No, it's cool. I'm excited to get to go spend a few days up in Abilene and
What?
hang out a little bit. No,
A
it's cool.
first financial first down.
Amen, brother.
Okay.
So now I get to work with a lot of great people. They make the job fun and easy at times. I think I got, not to glaze him if he's watching, but I think I got the best. I got one of the better bosses that I think anybody could have. So, but yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool that Woods gets to come with me. She gets to kind of
Heck yeah.
see the vibe, get the culture. You know, we're gonna get to go to a zoo and
Yeah. Well, say hi to my alma mater for my doctorate when you
I
pass
will.
by.
I will.
That's awesome. Good for you, brother.
Thanks,
All right.
man. I appreciate it. But after skimming through this, I've read a couple of the parts. I've read the Ray part. I think I still think the movie's an abomination, top to bottom. I think the fact that you have to play a children's game to grasp Palpatine returning, to even symbolize making this Reddit post make sense, is I understand, like, sure, if I wanted to watch something, if I'm vacuuming the couch and don't have to pay attention to, and I can look up and see something cool that looks good, that reminds me of something that I love dearly to my heart, sure, I might turn it on. I have only seen The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker once, and those were in the theaters. I have seen The Force Awakens a couple of times. I have thought about rewatching the sequel trilogy. I don't know if I could really make it through this one, especially. I suppose I'd have to give it a chance, but I think the movie as a whole is just absolutely just awful to me. I think that, like, they mentioned the dagger,
Yeah.
I appreciate this guy or this person. I don't know,
Yeah.
Grizz. like he's really trying to give it a chance, and I mean, maybe I need to give it a chance, bro. I mean, as you can see, I've been kind of vibing with some of the stuff they've been putting out with. I've tried to give a lot of stuff the chance. Um, maybe now that I've accepted the fate of my childhood hero, one of them being just an absolute failure of a man. Um, maybe I can give the Rise of Skywalker a chance. I think it's an absolute abomination from top to bottom, and I think the Palpatine returning is a big crux of that. I think the whole like super star destroyers that don't know how to go up, and just the how does Lando have this many people show up and they all can get to this place that Kylo had to damn near died getting to, and there's like 17 MacGuffins. Oh, what's his name's a spy. Oh,
Yeah.
Rey's a Palpatine, but she doesn't want to be a Palpatine. But then she's gonna take someone's last. They're like she's gonna take Luke Skywalker's. She's gonna take the Skywalker last name, but for what? Like she was closer to Leia, whose last name is Organa Solo or whatever they
Mhm.
called her. It, it's a movie that fights back with the last movie, and it's the end to the Skywalker saga, and it's yeah, but like it was. I was one of the. I wouldn't say I sat as long in the theater as I did after The Last Jedi, but it was one of those where I was like first in, and then I was just sat there for a little bit, and I was like, "WTF did I just watch?"
This
Like,
is it. That was it. That was your story.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that. And sad thing is, I think J.J. Abrams kind of got Luke right in the parts
Hmm.
that he's in. I would say the script that we had for Duel of the Fates was a lot better script. Like, I think they should have gone all in on Kylo being the villain. Just
Yeah.
let him commit to being what his grandfather couldn't. Don't bring this whole like Palpatine is manipulating him and he's been manipulating him the whole time and blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, now we see Anakin's on this planet, other galaxy, watching over Ahsoka, and he's just going to let his grandchild
Yeah.
fall to the dark side. But then how he even does that is, and how his uncle, the greatest Jedi of all time, even lets him do that. It's just like it all stems from one movie, bro. Like, yes, The Last Jedi is a big part of why I don't like The Rise of Skywalker, because of the directions that were done in that movie.
Yeah.
But they don't help themselves. Like JJ doesn't even try to like build off like, okay, Ryan did this. We're just gonna they spend half the movie like going back off of what happened in the last movie,
Yeah.
you know? But I don't know, I may have to watch them at like 1.5 speed and just kind of just get a
just,
different take.
just fast forward to Canto Bay. Like no one wants that. No one wants
Well,
that.
yeah, like there's whole sections of this movie that are just
Irrelevant.
worthless. Yeah, and I've read the book that takes place why Lando's on that planet and all that. I've read the book that people say makes the Rise of Skywalker better and blah blah blah, but I just Palpatine dies at the end of Return of the Jedi for me. Dark Empire's cool from Legends, but I still hold firm that the Emperor dies at the end of Return of the Jedi, and I think this person that writes this Reddit post has good intentions and is trying to look at it from a global perspective of what this does for Star Wars, but
Do you think
See,
some of the problem is that we got story like this whole world between world stuff, right? We got that piece with Anakin after, and it's implied that he is there and could see all wherever at any given time. And so because this was written after the movie, like now it just doesn't make sense even more that this kid is on the dark side, not just now because of Luke, but because what they've now written, and it says that Anakin should have been able to do like it whatever. Like what they're doing is killing continuity in Star Wars, and I think is what I'm trying to say as well. You
no,
can't have go ahead.
I don't like the world between worlds. I
Yeah.
didn't. I mean the stuff that they do in Rebels is cool in concept, but when you think about it, you're like, this makes no sense. And Dave doesn't do a great job of explaining it because I don't really think he understands. I think he just wanted a reason to keep Ahsoka alive. Personally, no hate to Ahsoka, one of the best Star Wars characters, but like that's just keep it a buck the way it is. Now they're giving Luke Skywalker's story to her,
Mm.
you know. But I don't know, man. Like it, it's such a shame that like I think Josiah and I were talking about this. Like they had everything. They had the graphics, and Force Awakens is fine. Like it's just a remastered. Not doesn't have as much of the soul as A New Hope does, but it's got some. It's got something there, but then it just tanks after that, dude. And um, I think you take Palpatine out of this movie, you take the whole Exegol thing out, and I think you commit to Ray or Kylo being the bad guy. Ray, tries to redeem him. She's whatever, and I think this movie goes from like a 2 for me to maybe a 6. I don't know. I think the Duel of the Fates one has its holes, but I think it does a good job of taking what came before it in the previous 2 movies and tying it together, whereas this one just fights with it. I felt like they almost should have made another one.
Hmm.
Like we gotta hit the reboot. We gotta do a Rise of Skywalker Part 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or something. Like we gotta figure out what to do. Because clearly the movie didn't do well because they haven't released another one
Mm-hmm.
since 2019. So I mean, if it wasn't for Mandalorian season 1, Star Wars would probably be extinct.
Unlived.
Yeah, like they would have been like, which I'm all for them doing. I'm all for like,
Take a
okay,
break.
we've just take a break. Don't give us nothing because the leaks I've seen on this Mandalorian movie, it's just gonna be like, all right, we've seen like 7 Clone Wars episodes of this. Why are we putting this on the big screen?
If it's a whole, we have to go to this place to get this thing and end up while we're here trying to save these people from this oppression. And then we go to this other planet for the other piece and we save the damsel. And then if it's another Mandalorian episode, I think your fan's going to flip on you.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I will always 100% support our lore master and what he likes and what he dislikes, but I'm just gonna have to disagree. And this Reddit post has good points in it, but for me, I mean, the movie's still it's not redeemable for me because of its actions, and then the movie that comes before it is just not good.
I would have
because
been
it was
fine too with some redemption for Kylo. He was a big badass, let's say, and in the end, he finally gets what his grandfather gets and understands. That's the lesson, right? Like, no, learn from the mistakes of the past, and whatever. Like, I would have been fine. I would have been fine with that, 100% without Palpatine. Just Kylo, like, not being the whiny little turd he was. You could even make that better because now it's a year later or whatever that timeline is, and he's got a better sense or hold or grasp on what he needs to accomplish or how he needs to get there. So of course he's going to change and mature. And then he becomes like the guy riding in on a on a TIE fighter like his granddaddy, but then also meets the same fate because you can't make her a Palpatine. That, I think, that was the worst. That was the worst for me.
That checks me out of that movie the same way when Luke throws the lightsaber in the water. Like, you just lose me. Like, you've lost me. You don't understand the, because this person makes a good point. Like they showed us in the prequels that they gave tens of thousands of nobody Jedi, like Mace Windu. You know what I mean? Like anybody can be a Jedi. That's like the whole point. That's what the prequels show us. Anybody can be a Jedi. Anybody that has an affinity to the Force, not this whole new shit that we're doing with Sabine and basically just rebooting her character, whatever. But like, they show us that and they don't commit. They do a cop out. She's a Palpatine somehow from a failed Palpatine clone that fathers her, and then whatever, and like, just it's just gross. And then Kylo's getting manipulated by Palpatine. He's been doing it all along, and like, no, it's just, no, don't like throw him into this just to get people to come to the theater because you don't have all your writers for your $4 billion investment sit down in a room for the next trilogy that you're going to release in theaters for the biggest IP in the world that everyone loves dearly, and you don't have all your writers sit in a room together. Or have the same guy do all three.
Yeah. Lucas, he had help doing Empire and help doing Jedi. So what's the big, like, yeah, I'm with you.
And we've seen the prequels in theaters. They're still well received. Like, they have, I mean, they're not the greatest of movies, they're not the best well written, but like, you're able to, like, you get immersed in the world, you get immersed with what's going on the screen, you're invested to some extent in the characters. He throws characters or worlds in there that draw your eyes to this, like, screen, and I mean, they were Star Wars, so they feel like Star Wars. There's some points like in when I'm watching, especially The Rise of Skywalker, which part of the, like, you're trying to tell me this is Star Wars, and you're trying to show me this is, but I don't feel it at all. Like, you've taken me out. Like, okay, now I'm thinking Palpatine's having sex, right? I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen Palpatine have a child. How does he have a granddaughter? What is this? Why is he still alive? God, imagine being people that have only seen the movies.
Yeah.
And then you go to and then you go to the theater, and it's like I watched this movie reviewer named Jeremy Johns, really good guy. Some people have maybe seen him review movies and TV shows and stuff. Like, he says that this, back in the day, the stuff that we saw in the theaters was the main thing. Everything else is supplemental. I should not have to read 3 books or 2 comics or 1 short story or whatever to understand how Luke goes from, or I don't know, take Anakin. Like, he doesn't have a scar in Attack of the Clones, and he has it in Revenge of the Sith. It, like, George Lucas is like, fuck it, I want him to have a scar, it's badass. And then we get to see how he gets it, and it's cool, but it's like, doesn't, like, him doing that doesn't take you out of the movie, right?
Right.
But to understand like the sequels, there's like they're not even trying to do a Clone Wars to even tie into this. They're trying to just push themselves away from it.
Yeah.
And it's like, so now you're embarrassed. You don't even want to commit to some of these characters that you invested billions of dollars into. And it's like, there's stuff there with Rey. There's stuff there with Finn. Like, you could make Finn a Jedi, and people be like, "Fuck yeah, dude, let's go! This is what we wanted 2 movies ago." But they're not going to,
Mm-hmm.
right? Look at the person that they've got in charge of the Rey movie. You think she's gonna make a good movie? No hate to her. She might be super talented, but we learned with what we learned with Leslie Headland and the other show. Like, I don't know. I'm interested to see this Ryan Gosling and James Mangold that's doing the uh the Dawn of the Jedi book, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude made Logan, right? Ryan Gosling's a good actor. There's some stuff there. But I mean, they could do some stuff with the sequels, man.
You can't have things in the movie that the somehow he returned. It's a mystery. Well, he cloned it, but we don't know, and it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense that
It's a
he's on this
Fortnite event,
planet.
bro.
How did he even get there? Who took him there? What part of him was transferred there? And what exists? There's too many questions. Why can't they go up? Because they need a power boost or something to be able to get the shit. What the does that? And you got to blow up a tower for the. It makes zero sense that the Emperor, if it really was the Emperor, who is the Sith architect, would be looked up to because of the way he did it by all these other Sith throughout history. You're telling me he forgot to figure out a way to get him and he was going to charge him? Like, this makes no sense. Hux is the Hux is the traitor. Hux is the spy. Bullshit. He's not. There's no way. That was thrown in.
That takes you out of it too, man. I mean, there's so many parts of the movie where like, what?
Yeah, no.
And you like sit in the chair and you're like, huh?
And Poe, I knew it. No, you shut up. That was just dumb writing. It was terrible. Terrible. Sorry. Those are just off the top of my head 3 things that for me made zero sense that you have to explain in some way, because I can't make sense of why that is. Why? And for Hux to say it's not that I want him to lose. Shut up. Like, no. I don't know, man.
Like, there's so many parts of that movie where it takes you out. Like, you gotta do a Fortnite, and I love Fortnite Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, avid supporter. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, but like to watch a Fortnite event to understand how the Emperor comes back and fits into this already crumbling series. And
wait, what?
Yeah, they explain how the Emperor like comes back in a Fortnite event.
Shut up. That's a thing?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a thing, bro. So, I mean, Fortnite does Star Wars pretty well. I hate to tell you, like, it's a shame that Fortnite can make a better Star Wars game than most AAA or big developers like EA or whatever. But Battlefront 2 is still fire. But like, I mean, it kind of checks you out. Like, dude, the point is, man, if you make a good Kylo Ren project that fills in him in the sequels, people would watch. You know, maybe it's got to be animated. Maybe it's got to be a short. Maybe just give us a Tales of something that adds some depth to the characters. But like, that Rey movie's not getting made, bro, because they don't got the right people behind it, and there's no story to tell because they didn't even give her a story.
Yeah.
Like that's what these books that I've got over here do so well, man. Like, sure, the ending in Return of the Jedi is great, but there's more good shit because there's more there. There's so much stuff in the galaxy for them to do, and they do such a good job. And I know you have it easier in books, but like they do such a good job of taking care of what came before and then giving it something new, adding some depth. Sure, does it get repetitive at times? Sure, Kevin J. Anderson isn't the greatest, but like there's still stuff there. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you kill off Chewbacca by having a moon crash into the planet, but he saves Han's kid. Like, that
It ha-
is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, but I read it in tears. And
exactly.
it was so good. Like when you say it out loud, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But when you read it, amazing. And Han's sorrow, like it just, yeah, man. Like, yeah. Life debt. And he paid it finally to his kid by, yeah,
And they took characters from those books that there was no source material and then gave us a dumber down version of Darth Caedus when Adam Driver, phenomenal actor, could
Yeah.
have freaking murdered it, dude. But they don't want
Good
but they
soup.
don't want but they don't want to commit. They don't want to give their not source material some clout or nothing. I mean, Ray has the potential to be such. I mean, that's one of the directions Ryan Johnson took in that movie that I was like, I can vibe with it. I'm cool with her not having any ties. Sure, Obi-Wan's long lost kid or Luke's lost kid, whatever. Like at the time of the sequels, I didn't even know about the Legends books, dude. Like I didn't even know about any of that stuff.
Mhm.
Wasn't even paying attention to it. But it's like, cool. But when you take one of the greatest Jedis of all time, the prototypical hero
Mhm.
from farm boy to savior of the galaxy, and you make him an angry hermit and you don't provide us any on-screen explanation as to and the part that you do still doesn't even make sense to a lot of the
Weak.
people.
Weak.
No, the guy the guy that redeems Darth Vader does not in a moment of weakness light his lightsaber thinking about attacking the son of his best friend and his sister. Doesn't
Nope.
do it. Doesn't do it. And but it's what we got. Maybe I would love for them to make a Luke project post ROTJ. I would love for us to transition from Ahsoka into some Luke content. Please recast. Don't give us this deep fake slop.
It happens sometimes, Scuttle.
I mean, bro, Scuttle, he showed me the Reddit post. I got to give my thoughts, but
Yeah,
like,
there's this Reddit post, man.
I mean, our lore master's probably gonna want to chat about it, and I'd be game too. I will read more in depth, Zane, and reply in the Wayfinder about it. But I mean, give us stuff, man. Like, there's stuff there. Like, just commit to it. I know there's comics are coming out with and stuff, whatever. But clearly, we'll retcon whatever we want to retcon if it's on screen. So, I mean, give me some Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple stuff because they did them well in Book of Boba Fett. Just recast them, please, and give us some good stuff, man. So,
Yeah.
Scuttlebutt.
Yep.
The last Jedi was the beginning of okay, analogy here. Hear me out. Last Jedi, the first tower, Rise of Skywalker was the second tower. It was kind of like it gives you a real bad taste in your mouth. Me personally, may not be for all. I know there's people that love the sequel trilogy, and there's people that's their Star Wars, but I
That's
wish
a
they
shame
could have
that
done
that's
better. But
It
I mean,
is.
it's more people coming in the fandom. But I mean, we need to. It clearly did borderline irreparable damage to the point where there's people that are missing out on some of the greatest Star Wars that we'll probably ever see in Andor. So that's how bad it is.
Oh my gosh! Don't even scare. Don't. No, we're not going there tonight, man.
Yeah. Okay. Hot take. We don't need Zendaya in as
good
much
with
stuff as she's in right now, I would
we're
argue.
fine with it. Yeah, Andor is peak, brother. Absolutely. Yeah, we were chatting about that a little earlier. We had to wrap up a few Andor things, and man, it's so well written. Tony Gilroy, I'd love to have you on the show if you got an extra. Just give me 5 minutes, man. And all I'll do is step out of the way and let Cam fanboy all over you.
No, dude. I
Um,
mean that I think that guy so much, dude. I'm not even like I'm glazing him, bro. Like
he's,
think
I don't.
I mean
Does he
Josiah was
get
like
it?
Josiah was like, do you really like do you think this show's that fire? Or do you
Yeah.
just hate the Acolyte that much? I'm like, bro, I haven't even thought about that show in a long time. Like, this show is just that good. Like, this felt like it should have been on HBO, is how good it was to me. Like,
I'm thinking I want to watch it again. I only watched it the one time through, and when I watched it, y'all were watching it. We watched it live. But I think I want to take my time and watch it an episode or two, digest an episode. I felt rushed because we, just fired them up as they were releasing. And I think if I took a little more time with them, I may just like them even more, and they may not be in top 5. They may end up top 3. So
that
um,
those last 7 through 12
fire,
is
man.
hands down some of the best TV that we've gotten in
No,
10
the
years.
casting was peak. We talked about Clea on the last episode too, where her very first real acting gig out of school was Andor season 1. And to see how in between 2.5 years or whatever, her growth, I think she only had one other gig during that time, and she was working on Andor. She is a key figure in the rebellion, and it's pointed out that she's canonically in uh Empire Strikes Back. When they're evacuating, she's actually at one of the terminals. Clea is. And I was like, really? I don't know if someone's making that shit up. Someone fact check me, but I did see that. Thanks, Scarif.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, do all those stuff and things, man. Like and subscribe. We have the little subscribe button over there somewhere. I always point the wrong way. I'm not very good at that part. The promoting of the show and myself and us, and need people to do that for me. Just enjoy getting on.
I talk about it at work all the time, but I just love coming to Vibe, brother.
It was a good show to vibe tonight. I just so everyone knows, if you are joining late, we had intended on talking about Underworld. I saw it twice. Well, I saw it once and a half through. I got the Ventress. We are a Ventress squad on this show mostly. A lot of love goes out to Ventress. Cad Bane, just another. I mean, he's a cool character. Spaghetti Western style. I like him. I didn't think we needed anything from him in his story, and was excited to see what they might bring to the table. And it was also didn't really add nothing. And then the Ventress stuff I'll swing to was terrible. It was just another Rebels episode or Clone Wars episode. Pretty much all it was.
And
Yeah,
I hadn't watched it.
and he hadn't watched it. Zane didn't even on the show, but he hadn't watched it. Zane sent us this "Why I Like Tross," Rise of Skywalker Reddit post from a day ago, and there's a lot of thought put into it. I understand. There's not a single thing that I'm like, oh, that's dumb. Like, I understand everything. I just disagree. I think in principle with some of the movie as a whole, which really will cloud my judgment and skew my view. I'm biased 100%. But I appreciate what he's done, and I can't wait to kind of walk through that. So it's not really about talking about the movie. It's really kind of growing and learning how we can perhaps look at this a little differently and try to like it, maybe, is the way I'm looking at it. And I do that from time to time. I remember, God, it's been 6 months, but I was like, "Hey, Cam, I think I saw this theory, and let's talk about this." And as soon as I got done, you were like, "Nope, trash. Nope, that's wrong." and you told me why, and I got it. Like I get it. So it was about Luke and him simply doing the same things that he saw his people do, whether that was Obi-Wan Kenobi as a hermit, whether that was Yoda as a hermit. So he in turn went to be a hermit. But the point, Cameron, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, was that was never in his character. He was never that guy. He's the guy that would have literally laid down his life for his friends. Attachments be damned. Like, okay, so I have attachments. I'm not going to leave them to the fate of Vader. I'm going to go intercede. And if that means I die, that means I die. That guy, that in you doesn't change. And if it does, then effers better tell me how, why, when, where did that change for our hero? Because if you're building story, George Lucas, we all know, builds a power of myth and all the books. We can equate it all. It's all a big mix, and he did a good mix of all this mythos. Where is that in the sequels? The mythos part where you could say, "Oh, that's Sisyphus. Oh, that's who." Like you can't do that with these characters that I'm aware, and maybe I just don't know. But when I look at the projects as standalone trilogies, if I look at the project as a whole, the sequels lose me because they're not following that writer formula, and nothing is consistent and feels it's being connected with pieces. These aren't really Legos, they're big bricks, right? And we're trying to put them together, and that's the way those movies felt. Whew, that was a tirade, and I didn't mean to do that, but yeah, man, that's where we're at.
I mean, I think let this person. I think the overlying thing is like, I mean, this is what we got, unless they decide to do the unthinkable and change it up or sell it, which they won't
Never
ever.
happened.
That never happen. But I mean, it's what we got, and there's some good moments in there. You know, I think Yoda's line and the Last Jedi when he tells Luke, about apprentices and students and stuff. Like they are what we rise above. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's some good lines and stuff in there, but it was one of the, and you mentioned earlier in the show, give us heroes. The Last Jedi was one of the first beginning of this new era that we're in of there's no heroes anymore. There's no good or bad. You know what I mean? Like they took the hero and just emasculated him and into a point where it did fracture the biggest
Yeah.
IP ever. And it would be it's a shame because he was the guy that told you there's hope. If there's hope for Darth Vader, there's hope for anyone, right?
Yeah.
A father's love for his son can bring a person that's killed millions and millions of people back to the light. And that person showed that, when you watch the prequels, attachments aren't bad. Like the Jedi have attachments, they're just afraid to realize them. They care for their Padawans.
Mm-hmm.
But Luke takes that, and we see it in the books. And you've read a lot more than I have. I'm still, I'm on a Middle Earth kick right now, but I mean, attachments aren't bad. They make us human. Luke was the human Jedi, and by him hiding away, and what Scarif's comment just says, I mean, he went and just did nothing.
Yeah.
Ran and hid and did nothing, and what happened? The guy that I grew up idolizing would never have done that.
No.
And I think and at the core crux of it, and this is probably just a crazy cop out, like I buy all this shit back here because younger me would have loved that, and now I have some money to make kid me inside happy, and the fact that they took a guy that would have that I wanted to be, you know what I mean, and just massacred him, massacred the character on screen, in my opinion, just absolutely crushes me.
Here's the thing I think that would save it, and I think they can still do this. Me, I learn of Obi-Wan Kenobi from this introduction of this crazy ass old hermit that has given up. But you know, your father would want you to have this. He was a Jedi. Okay, but I'm being called upon. And what a tragedy to see this old man who once was this great warrior, and then he gives his life, and you're like, God, what an amazing. He's a hero. Guy's a hero, right? We get story in the prequels, and not quite an abomination, but not a great show in Kenobi. But now we kind of understand Kenobi a little more. The guy we meet in the desert when we see Luke Skywalker the first time getting beat up by sand people. And it makes that tragedy even more great when the lines are delivered. He was a cunning warrior and a great friend. Like, God bless it. The tragedy of Obi-Wan at this point, right? Stay with me. Stay with me. We have the tragedy of Anakin that's been told many, many times. He was a hero of the Republic and fell. And what a tear, seeing episode 3 and you're torn hearing him yell, I hate you. It just even now gets me, like, no, that's your brother. And then you are my brother, like this whole thing. And so that makes, we understand where he fell, why he fell. That's the tragedy. Yoda, we meet him and he's this hermity old rest I need. Yeah. You just, what warriors not make one great. What's he talking? Who is this guy? There's mystery, intrigue on how this little tiny dude is who he is, and who everyone says he is. We get the backstory, right? Oh my God, the tragedy of effing Yoda. He failed in out of 900 years he's been doing this, and he failed his 900-year mission. He's a failure. What a tragedy that he has now removed himself from everybody and helping everything. Now, we look at Luke and we see this. What is this? Because when I watch him, I don't see it as this hermity old crazy guy. I see it as, what have you done to my hero?
Mm-hmm.
If we follow that writing path and that, stick with me, can we get a side project Kenobi but 10 times better? We get Sebastian Stan as Luke, and we tell the story, even if it's a piece of the story like we know and we don't like that he would whatever. What was going through his head? Did he have a premonition? Had he already been fighting Exar Kun with this? If we pull it from the books, I'm just saying, could we get a little piece like that would, for you, it would for me, would it help, if done right, make that more palatable in those movies? That was a long way to ask you that question, but I needed to line that out.
No, bro. I mean, I was saying it earlier. Like, give us something. Show us. Give us a couple. Even if it's animated, dude. Give us a couple of seasons of Jedi Academy Luke. You know, give us something. Flesh that story out. Flesh how Kylo falls. Make it a, I don't know. Was it Osis or whatever the planet's called? I mean, give us Clone Wars animation style Luke's Jedi Academy. Give us something. Give us some characters alongside Kylo that make it sad. You know, get us. I mean, we know what's going to happen, but make us attached to these people. You know what I mean? We know what happens in the Clone Wars at the end of the Clone Wars. I mean, give us something like that. I think people would be super drawn into it, and I think it would bang personally if Dave does it, you know, or because I think he does animation well. But I think it'd do great, and I think even while I don't like the end, maybe it helps me understand that character more, and maybe if I go back and watch that movie, it helps flesh it out more. Does a little retcon.
Mm-hmm. I say, uh, I can't put it. I can't put the story down yet because it feels incomplete. A lot of why, or a lot of for the reasons I just said. I don't feel connected to who this Luke ended up being, and so I need more Skywalker story because I'm not. It's I had no closure. Maybe that's what it is. I'm fine if I get that sliver and then put it to bed. You didn't have to bring Anakin back in Ahsoka. I'd have been fine without it. I'm happy you did, even though it felt a little, placating to the audience a little bit. But I'm not complaining about it. I don't think it was necessary, but it's there, and I'm glad it's there. It made sense how they did it. They just need to speed up the pacing.
And they're given. I feel like they're given the wrong story to.
Yeah.
No hate to Ahsoka, but they're given what's clearly someone else's story. Even though we obviously know how it turns out, I mean that's someone else's story that they're giving it to, and maybe they're going to tie him in. I don't know, but I agree with Dana, Scuttlebutt, because I mean it feels incomplete, and I would argue that Skywalker is Star Wars, and there's a big the fact that they've kind of left that character open to a certain extent. I do think if you're gonna move on with the Skywalker story, then you go on hiatus permanently for not permanently, temporarily for like 5 years. Just don't give us any content. Just Lucasfilm takes a halt on all Star Wars stuff for 5 years and let a new era of of potential fans age up, and then we're back.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to display this again because I think this is true for what the point that I'm
Skywalker equals hope.
Luke
That was
Skywalker
always the cool
is hope.
thing in those books too. Is by this time by the time of the sequels, there is it doesn't match the timeline of what the Legends books were because at this time frame, like there were still Jedi, and that Luke had revived the Order and et cetera, et cetera. So it's hard to even compare within like stories within the stories because the characters aren't even going to make sense because they don't fit in the timeline. So by them starting, and I guess I was kind of thinking maybe in this series, whatever you want to do with Luke to help, perhaps there is Mara Jade or some equivalent. And I guess this is a question I got to ask, and I don't know that we've asked it. Is are they that hell bent on not paying these authors for these characters that they've created that are I mean, I don't know. Like, is there some sort of reason that they aren't using any of this stuff that already is stamped fan approved and just make something about this? I'm not saying just put out the refurbished crap like Scary if you were pointing out earlier. It's not what I'm saying. But do they have to pay these authors and they don't want to? Or does that all come into Lucas Arts or Del Rey Books? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Is that a part of the reason they don't want to do it?
I mean, they use Thrawn.
And that's a biggie, man.
I mean, they used one of the biggest ones. I mean, I'm sure there's something there, I mean, I know Zahn's made more books that tie into the official canon. I mean, I'm sure there's something there. I mean, they don't want to admit that maybe someone did it better than them, and now they're going to take it. But I mean, I think like Scarif says, the short answer is yes. They probably don't want to have to pay these people, and but I mean, technically, the content's still there to be consumed. I guess for now, that's why I've bought as many of them as I can, even though it's probably going to be a while before I can get to all of them.
Mhm.
Just because, I mean, if for some reason they ever stop
Whatever
reproduce
town
or
you visit, man, stop at half price. That's just
uh,
that's what you got to do, man, and you'll get them all.
and I mean, I've got the big ones. Like I've got NJO, I've got Legacy of the Force, I've got all of them, and I got the final one, Crucible. But it's I don't know, man. I mean, Andor gives me hope that maybe they're, they'll take some chances, because I think we saw with this show, if you take some chances on some things, some good might come out of it. And if you got the right person behind the project, which I know sometimes is hard nowadays, but there's still people out there that'll make good content. And I think John Watts is one of them. I think that's a sleeper
Yeah.
one, because Skeleton Crew is it's a fun show. It's one that I think is gonna get swept under the rug with all this stuff going on, because that should be able to just that is, in my opinion, when I think of Disney Plus and I thought Star Wars is coming to streaming, that's what I thought we would get for a live action show, and everything else would be specifically for the movies,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Yeah, Scarif, that surprised me too. I was given a lot of Neil hate when we were reviewing that show, Skeleton Crew. But that was a lot of show. It was a daring show. I love the show. I have not rewatched it, but certainly, Christmas time of year is what they want it to kind of be. Fine, I'll I'll rewatch it during Christmas. But it was good writing. It was lighthearted. You had Jedi kinda, but that wasn't the focus, right? The focus were those kids. Um, and I think that's what Andor that's what proves that Star Wars is more than shiny lightsabers, is that you can tell a good Star Wars story that feels Star Warsy, grown up, that deals with real shit that you can look in the news and be like, oh, like I'm down. Let's
Mhm.
do it. It ratings don't lie, and well, no, ratings don't lie from a fan's perspective. And if you have a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, well, there's a reason. Even if it's people just hating and not seeing the movie, and well, there's a reason. There's a reason they're doing that. That has to do with the movie in some form or fashion. So Disney, just look at the ratings of your shows, see what does well. Market research, things you used to be good at. Um, They're not so good at that anymore. That's all right. Absolutely. That's why I don't get when people say Andor is right. Yeah, man.
It's literally the best. I mean, it's from season 1, season 2 to Rogue One. It is the best trilogy of work that Disney has done.
Andor made it okay that Han shot. Understand, like, I know it was really fast and it sounded like one shot, and I know that Greedo did shoot back, but originally, it was just all I ever knew it as is Han just shot his ass. Andor makes that okay. And not okay that it's okay that he did. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Han Solo was a scoundrel. Han Solo would have sold out his own mama for for a cargo drop, right? And it's the the tragedy of Han Solo, right? Like the guy did not want any part of this. He just wanted his money and get the heck out of here. The reluctant hero. And I'm not going to go off on my tirade like I did a year ago, but that character was not the Han Solo we got either. We got this half-ass, broken-ass man that can't even cockily apologize for whatever he may have done. Like, it's just not the guy. That's not my Han. Leia, that's not my Leia. Chewie, that's not my Chewie. And at the end of the day, I need to understand the closure. It's not about extending the Skywalker saga. It's about giving it a proper close. I think that's fair.
I agree, bro.
And by Skywalker saga, I mean those characters. Like, I don't need a Lando series. I loved Lando, and at one point maybe, but nah, I don't need a Lando. I don't need a Chewie, another Han series. I don't need any of that. All I need really is some closure for Luke. Awesome. What a show. We vibed, man. It was a good one. You got another hot take or parting shot here? What? Was you about to throw something down? No, maybe. What were you about to say? No.
No, I don't got nothing, man.
Awesome.
Just here, man. We should play golf. That's all I know.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
I've shot in the high 80s twice now in a row. So,
dang, I haven't shot. I broke 80 only once in my life, or broke 90 once in my life. That's it. When I was in high school, I wouldn't be able to do that anymore.
I mean, I could go out. I could go out tomorrow and shoot 100, but I have,
but I hang my Titleist, my Titleist hat on the.
Dude, we're thinking. So Josiah and Jeremy have started. My fellas have started getting into it, and they played the last time, and they're getting a little good. And we were, talking about maybe doing a, early tea time at the A&M club, like at 8 a.m. or.
Why don't I look into this? Maybe we can write off the chamber tournament. Would you do the chamber tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see what I can do about that. I don't know. That'd be fun. And it gets my business going. What?
Get some TSD golf polos, bro. Oh
no. My other one, not TSD. My business that I'm trying to make money off of. This is a money pit. This is all.
Can we get a polo for your business? I'd wear it.
Yeah.
But anyways,
we'll figure something out.
All I'm saying is we're thinking about the fellas coming to stay the night before. We wake up early, go to a tea time. I know the A&M club's a little expensive, but
my birthday's on Thursday. I come in a size 18 holes. So,
but I think it'd be a good time. I know it's getting a little hot, but
I don't, dude. I love playing golf. I don't care. I mean, I prefer between 7:30 and 9 at the latest if possible. But I don't care.
Solid.
I golf in pants because I don't want my legs burning. So
need to make something happen. Honestly, bro, even if because I know you hadn't played a bit, even if you're trying to go to the range, man, the A&M golf range setup is nice, dude. You can do pretty much all of it there. Hit the range, putt, chip. They even got bunkers you can practice out of. Fun time.
Yeah. I will check it out. Next week we're supposed to have a guest.
Oh, surprise guest.
Surprise guest that was supposed to be here but was sick. Absolutely, Scarif. You have a great evening too. Go check out Scarif Scuttlebutt's podcast. Debbie's on there every now and then. Also, take it easy. And if we're not subscribed, I don't know why we're not, brother. Well, I'll subscribe. I know we are. Maybe we're not. I try to subscribe to all the old GNN friends and family. Zane is I don't know what he's doing tonight, but not here. I know he had a couple of shows this last weekend. Off the Hook. Go check out his band, Thomas Babiak and 30 Rack. Their show, the pictures and videos, the dance floor is not dancing. It's just packed full of people. It's like a concert instead of a honky tonk dance. I don't know. Glad. Good on him. Have fun. Debbie, I didn't hear from her all week. I hope she's all right. We need to reach out and check on her. Andrew, I hope you survived your birthday. He did receive the book. And the book is, I read from the book to my TikTok audience a little earlier tonight. Here's the book, Rebel with a Cause, Leading a Rebellion in the Business Galaxy. And it's full of just like all these like leveraging unorthodox problem solving. And we start with a Star Wars analogy and then go into talking how we can apply it to business. So go check it out. This book is like $7.99 at Amazon, and usually you get it within 2 days. I sent one of these to Andrew for his birthday, and next week we are starting the loyalty program. 2 points for every 5 minutes that you watch. YouTube requires, if you watch on YouTube, to put a comment every 5 minutes or so to count those points. That's not my rule, that's theirs. So for tonight, if we were counting, Scarif would have gotten a lot of points, right? Like 20, 30 points for the hour and a half we were on. Spooky Jawa, fan of the show. I've been on his show a couple times. His podcast won the other book last month. This one, which is a journal and full of some Star Wars quotes that are supposed to motivate you. So, loyalty program this month, but you can go buy this now for $7.99. And I think that's it. We have a show next week with a guest, surprise guest, and I don't know what we'll talk about. I like the straight vibe show for tonight where it was just Cam and I hanging out. I don't think we've had one of those, just you and I, in a while. So that was
I don't
fun.
know if we've ever had one, brother.
Really?
I know
Possible.
Zane and I have. I know Zane, Debbie, and I have done one, but I don't think you and I have done one. We should do this more often.
Yeah, had fun. All right. We'll see you all next week. Keep your eye open for some more content. I've got some ideas for some videos, and we'll shoot that out too. Yeah. We'll catch you guys later. Remember, kids, peace is a lie. There's only passion. Good night.